just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. Once I get in and I put it in try, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the vibe, yeah. That's all the shots if you don't say. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. 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 Hate it when my doubts and my fears swell up like the ocean. It feels like I could drown in my tears. Everything's overflowing. Scared that I won't get it right, get it right. My nerves are working overtime, overtime. Tell myself to calm down and breathe. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. 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 Once I get in and I put it in try, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the vibe, yeah. That's all the shots if you don't say. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go. Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless.
A very good evening. Welcome to Champions League Live as we kick off the 2026-27 season in the Champions League here on LFS, and it is the playoff round, the last round to see which teams will make it to the league phase, and it is all on two champions of two huge European nations. Scotland, the champions of Scotland, Celtic, taking on the Austrian champions LASK Linz. The first leg at Celtic Park, when the return leg of course in Austria next week, to decide which of these two teams will be playing in the Champions League and what the other will be playing in the Europa League. Already across the playoff round, 3 games last night, 3 draws in those respective games, some familiar sides in there, most notably Fenerbahce against Lyon ended 1-1. Viking FK came from 2-0 down to draw with Dinamo Zagreb in Zagreb, and Levski Sofia were able to hold AEK Athens to a goalless draw there in Sofia. Celtic LASK tonight, then Sheva alongside Saba. They play this evening. Nek against Bodo Glimt, and Slovan Bratislava, looking to make their second ever appearance in the Champions League. They take on Celje in that one in Bratislava. So 4 huge games this evening. The first legs of the playoff round. 7 teams still looking for their place in the Champions League phase, and 7 of these 14 teams will make it. The other 7 will be heading to the Europa League phase for the campaign. A quick look at the key dates for the Champions League this season. Of course, the league phase draw for the Champions League takes place next Thursday at the end of all of the playoff round games. At 5 o'clock next Thursday. We'll have the details of that for you here at LFS. The first league phase game, match day, starts on Tuesday the 8th of September, and as tradition has become in the Champions League, 3 nights across Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday of that midweek will kick off the Champions League phase. We'll conclude the league phase on January the 27th, all 18 games on one night, and then of course the knockout stages kick off in February, all leading to the 2027 Champions League final on June the 5th. 2027. A quick recap, it's pretty simple. Path to the league phase. Win your playoff tie, you're in the Champions League phase. Lose your playoff tie, and it's the Europa League phase for you. So, 2 huge teams, a huge opportunity tonight to really put down a marker to be a Champions League team. Celtic missed out last season. It's not often, and it's certainly not accepted around these parts, that not having Champions League football should be the norm. This stadium, this crowd, this atmosphere is built for Champions League nights, and they will once again be hoping that they will have quite a few of them this season. But they need to do their job over 2 legs against the Austrian champions, who won't be any sort of pushover for this one this evening. But 2 sides who started the season pretty well face off in one of the cauldrons of European football. Let's have a look at the 2 teams for this one, starting with Celtic, who've started the season excellently well in both League and League Cup. Sinisalo continues in goal. Youngster Donovan starts at right back. Trusty and Carter Vickers, the experienced centre-back partnership, and Kieran Tierney starts at left-back. Captain Callum McGregor is in midfield alongside Benjamin Negron, and Mika Bauer making his Celtic Park debut in the Champions League. Of course, Arne Engels moved on to West Ham, so he is no longer at the club. And a front 3 that has continued right the way throughout the start of the campaign for Celtic. Yang on the left, Duran on the right, and Casper who got a hat-trick in his second game at Celtic on that trip to Kilmarnock, has them is starting up front. Experience off the bench, as well as a debutant possible in Hassan on the bench, of course, could make his Celtic Park debut tonight, but experience in this competition. Reo Hattati, Anthony Ralston, James Forrest, none more so than James Forrest with experience for Celtic. For LASK, it's a back 3 or back 5, whatever way you want to look at it. Youngworth starts in goal, Jorgensen at right wing back, a back 3 of Yamba, Tornic and Andrade are the centre backs, and Bello at left wing back. Lubicic starts in midfield along with Danek and Horvath, and a front 2 of Adeniran and Usor. And of course, some interesting players off the bench as well, none other than Christoph Lang, who could be a real danger off the bench. So, two teams fighting for one spot in the Champions League phase. And no better way to start the Champions League coverage on LFS at Celtic Park as the champions of Scotland take on the champions of Austria. In this, the Champions League playoff round. Kick-off in Glasgow is next. A very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us for this one. So 7 games, 14 teams, 7 ties to see which of these teams will take the 7 remaining places in the league phase for the Champions League. Will it be Celtic or will it be LASK Linz? Of course, 2 champions of their respective countries, but that isn't enough to get them an automatic place in the league phase. They have to find a way over 2 legs to see them into an exclusive club of 36 teams that will make up the Champions League phase. And Celtic, the expectation we know is European football. Champions League football is a must at this football club. Of course, Celtic in their home strip of green and white hoops on the shirt, white shorts, white socks, and LASK Linz in their home strip, maybe their away strip, I believe, actually, with black and red streaming through the shirt and shorts. But a very energetic away crowd in the corner here at Celtic Park. Flags and the scarves risen high. A very energetic crowd in that corner of this famous stadium. And they will get us underway, LASK. In a moment, we'll also keep you updated with all the other scores around the Champions League playoff round this evening. And it's all on the referee. He blows the first whistle. The referee who took charge of the Champions League final last season has the chance and gets us underway for this season in the playoff round. Celtic know how important it is to get off to a good start. And LASK will not be an easy task for Martin O'Neill's side in this game. Long ball over the top and a first chance to run in behind here for Usor. Oh, what a goal! The flag is up though, but what a finish from Moses Usor. Almost giving LASK the perfect start against Celtic. See this again. Just a long ball from the left back position, and he just doesn't get himself back on side in time. Really strong line held by Austin Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers, well in line. And a beautiful fit. I mean, it's an awful that it has to be disallowed, not from a Celtic point of view, but what a finish. And I'm sure that is a goal that isn't, but probably should have been, depending on the quality, but he was offside. Moises Usor, but that's certainly a confidence builder right from the beginning. That's what they've got to be aware of, Celtic, and very wary of, is the threat that they have in behind with that front 2 from LASK in Adeniran and Usor. And the keeper taking his time and getting the game back underway. Long kick up the field from Youngworth. Header won by Carter-Vickers. Flick on down the left hand side, a bit of head tennis as Hu finds it down the left here to Yang. Gonna step it inside, but that's miscued. Bobbling ball, it's confidently dealt with, and the run's in behind. It's Usor, he's got the pace, he's got the better of his man, and Carter-Vickers, and he slices it well wide. It's a dinner in that time. That's another chance for LASK Linz right from the off. It just looked like he'd absolutely blasted the pace. In behind here, just turns the wrong way. I think it's Carter-Vickers. Or is it Austin Trusty? Oh no, it's Carter-Vickers, apologies. Just doesn't have the pace to recover with Adeniran. He's beaten. Get very lucky there, Celtic. A good finish, and that would have been 1-0. 2 very early scores for the Scottish champions. Here's Benjamin Negron. Of course, we watched Celtic win the title at Celtic Park against Heart of Midlothian. Final game of last season in the Scottish Premiership. A man who's on the bench this evening in Callum Osmond scored that third crucial goal at the dying embers that more than sealed it for Celtic at that stage. And they've started the new season in a pretty impeccable fashion. 2 wins out of 2 in the league. And a League Cup victory as well against Dundee United. Putting up the numbers as well. Scoring 10 goals in those 3 games cumulatively. Here's Benjamin Nygren. Squares it across to the left-hand side for Mika Bauer. He comes into the side, the German, making his Celtic Park debut, the 22-year-old. Played in the Bundesliga last season with Paderborn. Made 36 appearances. And of course played in their 4-0 victory against Dundee United at Tannadice just at the weekends for Celtic. Here's Austin Trusty. Tierney forcing it round the corner, looking for the big target of Casper Hu. That's misplaced. Bellow down the left-hand side. Works it back to his captain in Horvath. All the way back here to Andrade. And now Alignao. Usor. Squeeze it through there. The run off the right-hand side of Jorgensen didn't quite work out. Celtic were able to dispossess, but a little bit nervy. Out of possession. Nicely controlled there by... That was nicely done, I have to say, by Yang. Here's Camilo Duran. Got the overlap. Duran steps onto his lefts. Back to Callum McGregor. Leader of the Celtic side. Just about squeezes that to Tierney. Celtic trying to push up the field. Well into the last half here. Donovan. Trying to break past his man down the right hand side, and that will bounce out. I think that's been given as a LASK throw in, deep in their own half. No one back there by Mika Bauer. Challenge there late on Yang, and that's going to be a free kick. Nicely done by Yang Kyun-jun. Held it up, shielded the ball well around the edge of the area. He just did well against the centre-back there. Alemao. Opportunity here. From a set piece. Try and score the opener. Benjamin Nygren's got it in his locker. He's the one that looks the most likely to take it. Mika Bauer is in and around the vicinity of the ball, but Nygren seems to be taking charge of this for Celtic as LASK get their defensive wall in shape. Nygren dictating things for Celtic here as he awaits to take this free kick. Around about the edge of the box, around 20 yards out, slightly to the right hand side of the goal. It's perfect for a left footer if they can get the whip on it correct. There's a 3-man Celtic wall. Just trying to shield a bit here ahead of the LASK wall. 5-man wall from LASK. It's Nygren. Mika Bauer is there, but it will be Nygren. Nygren with a left foot hits the LASK wall right in front of him. Celtic get it back. Bauer down the right to Nygren. 3 players in the vicinity, but he clips it round the corner. It's a lovely ball and a good strike. Straight down the throat of the keeper from Camilo Duran. Yeah, really good ball round the corner from Benjamin Nygren. And Camilo Duran just stretching out his right leg, full stretch, trying to whip it across goal. And a decent save from Youngworth down to his right hand side. Some positive signs for Celtic starting to emerge all of a sudden. Because they've dominated the possession in the early doors, Celtic. Of course, this is the first meeting of the two teams in any UEFA competition. And Celtic don't have a great record against Austrian teams. They've won only 3 of their 13 matches against Austrian opponents. The most recent, though, was a win in a 2-1 victory at home against Sturm Graz in the league phase of last season's Europa League. They've lost 7 of those 13 games against Austrian opponents. That win against Sturm Graz actually last season ended a 6-game streak, winless run against Austrian teams in Europe. 3 successive losses prior to that, along with 3 draws. Here is Donovan. And they bypass the midfield, looking for the runner. Camilo Duran, just a flick around his man. The goalkeeper was beaten, but he couldn't find the net. Beautiful ball by Donovan. Fabulous inside run by Camilo Duran. See this again, he gets the better of Bello. Bello's nowhere to be seen, leaves him too much space. Beautiful diagonal run by Camilo Duran. He just tries to flick it. Does get the toe poke just to carry it around the goalkeeper in Youngworth. But just carries it wide of the left post. Beautiful move. Ever so close for Celtic right there in that moment. Well, Camilo Duran making himself a bit of a nuisance so far, but here comes Usor. Trying to find a cross into the box, lays it back. Whip ball from Lubicic. Headed back across and easily into the hands of Sinisalo in the Celtic goal. Celtic have only conceded 1 goal so far this season in their 3 games in domestic competition. It's away at Kilmarnock. They were already 4-0 up at that point against Kilmarnock. A clean sheet in their only home league game of the season, that opener against Dundee. The opening weekend, a 1-0 victory for Celtic that night. Gregor up to win the header, but a lack of bodies in the middle. Gregor tries to battle back in, but loses that one. Bit of squeezing as Horvath carries it forward. Lovely little run there. Good shots, and easily into the hands of Sinisalo. It was a Denner in that time, angling his run out to that left-hand side. Around Donovan, just doesn't track him till it's too late, and a Denner has to go back across goal. Simple enough save for Sinisalo, but both sides certainly looking dangerous when they can carry the ball forward. Here's Casper Hu trying to create a nuisance. Takes it down well. Couldn't hold on to the ball. Had a bit of help from Mika Bauer, but he couldn't win it back. And now Celtic a bit caught open here, a little bit here. It's Lubicic. There's a bit of space and gets a bit too cute. Cheap giveaway around the edge of the Celtic box there. Benjamin Nygren wins a free kick off Danek. Yeah, it's been a busy first 11.5 minutes at Celtic Park. Remains goalless when we thought LASK had took the lead after 30 seconds. Offside from Uzor. What a finish, by the way, but he was offside, and both sides have had half chances since to try and take the lead. Only the best chance, Camilo Duran's effort that was directed wide. A long ball from Donovan from the back. Beautifully timed run. Perfect ball. McGregor makes the run round the corner. Nygren back to Callum McGregor. Wide to Yang. Mika Bauer now trying the cross. Hooked away at the first glance. Mbuyamba. Yeah, it's not easy for me to say. What is it with certain centre-back names and me? I had it during the World Cup. Here's Horvath charging forward here for LASK. Followed all the way by Carter Vickers, but the ball wide to Jorgensen. He tries the cross, a bit of a deflection, the header. It's cleanly into the hands of Sinisalo. Lack of threat there from Christoph Danek. Again, really good run from Horvath, carried the ball well. Played it out wide to Jorgensen, who took it under control. Tried to whip it in. Bauer got a bit of a touch to it as it whipped in. And off the head of Danek, and into the hands of Sinisalo. getting half chances at the minute, LASK. Breakaway chances in transition. It's where they've looked dangerous so far against Celtic. Celtic, as I said, have dominated possession early doors. 75% of the ball for Martin O'Neill's side. Quick update from around the grounds. There is the only goal of the evening so far in our games that we're watching around Europe, and that has come in the game between Beersheva and Saba, and Saba have taken the lead in that one. Vjelko Simic with the goal has given Saba the lead in that one. That's the only goal of the evening so far. Saba of Azerbaijan, and they lead by a goal to nil. Elsewhere, all goalless. Well, would Martin O'Neill be pleased with his side start to this game? A lot of the ball, decent amount of territory, 1 or 2 half chances, but of course they lay down a marker tonight. It's not just good enough to not lose. You know, we always feel that if you have the first leg at home, the impetus is on you to try and take a lead to the away leg. It's never easy to go away from home in Europe needing a good result. One thing you do feel about Celtic though is they've got the firepower up the field, that if their attackers can get themselves into good rhythm and good form, which they have started the season, you think they can always find a goal from somewhere. You know, if they really desperately need it, but I think they just need to command things tonight. Not only just on the score sheet, but mentally going into that game next week, they have to believe that their own hype in a sense. Bauer does well in a tight space there, wide to Tierney, who has to come all the way back to Austin Trusty. Catholic Rebel says need to be more clinical. Only 1 shot on target of the 3 shots so far, Celtic. It will be something they'll want to improve as the game goes on, create better chances. Mika Bauer tried to make a good run there. Tierney's ball was a decent effort, but just cut out by the Austrian defence. Biamba. Danek now out to the right hand side. This is a good chance. It's Uzor down the right hand side, breaking into the box here. Uzor blocked off by the first Celtic man in his way. That's seen out for the throw in. Austin Trusty with the block. Having technical difficulties, I actually haven't got a clue what's going on right now. Celtic got the ball with Sinisalo. Bit of a break-up of my coverage in the feed. All of a sudden, oh, that's a lovely ball in behind to really well-timed run. Camilo Duran just couldn't take it down. Beautiful ball again, and the space was there in behind. Again, another beautiful breakout from Celtic. Right on this right-hand side, and what a ball this is. Beautiful run again from Camilo Duran. Off the back of the defence in space, but the touch just couldn't take it down and get a chance towards goal. It was Bello that was in cover again against Duran, and Bello does just enough to put him off from the first touch. Usor making the run there. Andrade played the ball, lovely ball. It's end to end all of a sudden. Here's Lubicic. Couldn't get it into the box, blocked by McGregor. Taken in by Negro. Flicks it to the outside. Mika Bauer now goes first time, looking for the run of Casper, who evaded one man, couldn't evade another. Backtracking Mbamba there to take it down for LASK Linz, but Again, unable to keep the ball for too long. The visitors. That's something Celtic need to use to their advantage, the fact they do have so much of the ball. Got to be able to pen them in. They look so dangerous in the breakaway. Something they need to be very, very careful of, Celtic. Is that counter-attacking threat that we've already seen on a few occasions. Donovan. Negrin. Around the corner to Trusty. Now Tierney. Tierney reluctant to go forward on that occasion. Back to Austin Trusty, and now square to Cameron Carter-Vickers. In my opinion, we've not really seen enough of the Celtic midfield in progressing the ball. It's been a lot of wide play that's progressed the ball. That's nice though. Mika Bauer. Now to Casper, who just about held off. It was Andrade in the cover. I think they were calling for a corner there, Celtic, but this is better. Camilo Duran steps in field, and then the midfield trio of McGregor, Negrin and Mika Bauer all involved in playing it to the box. It found its way towards Casper, who lovely ball by Mika Bauer. Andrade just steps across, uses his body to usher the ball away from danger. Celtic corner then on the right hand side, or left hand side, sorry. Swung in by Bauer, away by Bello at the front post, chested down by McGregor. Wide to Mika Bauer again on the touchline. That's the retreat back to his captain. Celtic just recycle. 20 minutes going here at Celtic Park. Celtic 0, LASK Linz 0 in this one. First leg of the Champions League playoff round. Winner of the tie goes through to the knockouts, or to the knockout stages, to the league phase of the Champions League. Get myself well ahead of myself. We have a goal in one of the other games in Bratislava, between Slovan Bratislava and Gelde from Slovenia, and it is Slovan Bratislava who have taken the lead in that one on around about 15 minutes, and that goal from Roman Serpakai has given them the lead. 1-0 to Bratislava. Dangerous ball there from Horvath, overheaded though towards Jorgensen on the overlap. And long diagonals have been really dangerous for both teams so far this evening. Lovely ball by Horvath, really good idea. Just overcooked it a little bit towards Jorgensen on that far right hand side. They'll be pleased with their start, the visitors. In fact, they've caused danger to Celtic, but also have ridden their defensive attributes pretty well. Dealt with things that Celtic have tried to pose to them to this point pretty comfortably. Donovan. Wide to Camilo Duran. Duran occupying two players. Tried to squeeze it through for the underlap of Donovan. That was blocked off by Horvath. Celtic throw taken quickly. Negro. Duran. Chops inside. Finds the space here for Kieran Tierney. Plays it out wide to Yang. Yang on the left hand side. Dribbling into the box. Lays it back to the edge. Mika Bauer trying to dig it out. And that one too close to the goalkeeper in Youngworth to cause any sort of danger. When we talk about Camilo Duran, how dangerous he's looked in the early minutes of this game. Another one of Celtic's new signings, the 24-year-old Colombian, joined from Karabag for £4.7 million. Only been on the score sheet 4 times for Celtic in the 6 appearances he's made in both pre-season and in the league campaign so far, or in the domestic campaign so far, shall I say. Scored in their 4-0 win over Dundee United in the League Cup at the weekend, and 3 goals in 3 pre-season friendly games from his debut. So a strong start to his career at Celtic already. Camilo Duran only failed to be involved in a goal for Celtic in 1 of his 6 appearances so far, and that was against Dundee in the league opener where he didn't score or assist in that game. An incredible start to his career at Celtic so far. Want the perfect start in the Champions League for Celtic if he can. Here is Duran. Challenge there a little late by the left wing back of LASK and Bello. Tough task, George Bello against Camilo Duran, the American left wing back. Joined LASK on a free 3 seasons ago from Arminia Bielefeld in Germany. Here's Mika Bauer on the right hand side now. Carter Vickers. Well, one of the big question marks coming into this game, and certainly prior to this game from Celtic fans, is about the situation with Arne Engels. The fact that he is now a West Ham United player, and some were confused at why Celtic had sold him prior to this huge Champions League tie. Sold him for over 22 million. Doubled their money of which they bought him for a few seasons ago. There's some talk that Celtic may be waiting on the outcome of this game to see what sort of business can be done in the last few weeks of the transfer window. If they can get Champions League football in the league phase, then that could attract a certain pedigree of player that Celtic would want to bring in before the end of the transfer window. Bauer, nice work here from Celtic. McGregor couldn't squeeze it through. Casper who made the run, but McGregor telegraphed it a little bit. Nicely tracking back there, Camilo Duran to win it back for Celtic. I think the crowd will be pleased with how they've played in and out of possession. It's just they need to be a little bit more dangerous in the final third, Celtic. Get 1 or 2 big chances. Yang holding it up well. Tierney, only man out there on the left for Celtic. Tries to take on his man in Jorgensen. Gets back and makes a good block, but it will go out for a Celtic throw on that left hand side. Yang inside to Donovan now. Out to the far right for Camilo Duran. Nygren. Work an angle, finds Yang with a little flick to find Tierney. Body's in the area, Tierney clips it across over the head of Mika Bauer. Benjamin Nygren! Fabulous goal. Benjamin Nygren so often comes up with the big goals for Celtic and has got them off the mark here this evening at Parkhead. Beautiful finish from Benjamin Nygren. He only scores absolute crackers, and that one certainly was. Celtic 1, LASK Linz 0. That's what Celtic have been missing in the first 25-6 minutes, and they now have the lead. Again, it's really good play from Celtic. It's a lovely flick by Yang, clipped up in the air by Tierney, and they do well to keep it alive, just over the head of Mika Bauer. Poor clearance from Horvath, really, just kind of bobbles it to the edge of the area. Nygren, his eyes light up as that one drops in front of him, catches it sweet into the top corner. Absolutely beautiful. Celtic 1, LASK Linz 0. Only what Benjamin Nygren does, and that is a huge goal for Celtic in this tie. They've been dominant from the first minutes, controlling the possession, creating 1 or 2 half chances, and with their best chance of the game, they find the back of the net through Benjamin Nygren. Another cracker and stunner from him. As the hoops in front, as they will get a free kick here. Late challenge there in midfield, but that will get the crowd going. It will settle the slight nerves that will be around Celtic Park. Of course, this playoff round game that they played last season ended in disappointment for Celtic, losing to Kairat Almaty, who went on to, of course, make their debut in the Champions League main section. They'd never played in a group stage or league phase round before. Here's Yang trying to break into the box, goes down under a challenge. Clean challenge, says the referee. A bit of space here for Usor to break down the right-hand side. Jorgensen on the overlap. Jorgensen squares it across, gets a good touch to it from Danek there, but it's easily into the hands of Sinisalo. Just come off the toe of Danek. You see this again. The challenge on Yang. It's not enough. Good, strong defending, I have to say, from the centre back there, Biyamba. Certainly not a free or a penalty of any sort. Cheap giveaway there again from Celtic, but a poor ball easily the way through to Sinisalo. Well, now all four ties have a goal in it. The last one that was waiting on a goal was Neck against Bodo Glimt, and Bodo Glimt have taken the lead. The Norwegian side up and running there, and Sondre Fett has given them the lead there. The Norwegians in front there against Neck Nimgren from the Netherlands. Here is Yang trying to cause problems. Cleared away. Tierney whips it in early. Dealt with by the centre backs again, who clear their lines for LASK. Come under real pressure in the last 5 minutes of the visitors. Celtic have just tightened their grip a little bit on the game. That's got the crowd, I'm sure, very pleased inside Celtic Park right now. Here's Usor. Oh, lovely ball, finds it across. Clean challenge though by Donovan, who waited no time to clear it. Clean tackle. 30 minutes on the clock. Celtic 1, LASK 0. LASK have looked a danger all evening, there's no question about that. They've looked a danger in the final third in the Celtic box. They've just not been able to come up with any goods so far. McGregor, Bauer, down the left hand side. Nygren made a little run but decided to switch back. All about that composure. Oh, a bit of a telegraph ball there by Callum McGregor, overcooked it towards Donovan. He give away a possession there from the Celtic skipper. Long ball over the top, cleanly dealt with by Cameron Carter-Vickers, the stalwart at the back for Celtic. Been such a key player at centre back for Celtic, the real foundation of this team over the last number of seasons under a variant of different managers. Most probably successful under Ange Postecoglou, of course, and stunned as probably the best defender in Scotland, and some arguing that he's back to his best after a pretty below par season last season. Horvath trying to make a run down the left hand side, but Donovan there on the scene to deal with the danger. Yeah, it's been a strong bit of defending down that right back position from Colby Donovan. Easy to forget that he's just 19 years old. Long ball from Usor from the long throw, dealt with again by Colby Donovan. Gets his head to it first and then straight out to make the block. Really strong first 32 minutes from the young right back. Really, really strong performance so far. Rousseau will get another chance to take this long throw. Again, dealt with by Colby Donovan at the first chance he gets. Rousseau, though, quickly gets it back to Danek. Wide down the left it comes. Lubicic with the ball in. Way by Carter-Vickers. Bouncing ball as Usor finds it out to Lubicic again. Celtic on the back foot a little bit here. Bit of defending to do. Opportunity down the left into the area, and Girardi was the man in the mix. Again, another simple grab for Sinisalo under no real duress. And Yang trying to break down the left. He's got Hu awaiting in the middle. Yang. Not much support down the left as he will just retrieve it back to Kieran Tierney. And Callum McGregor. Bauer. Duran. Trusty finds a good ball there to Casper, who bit of loose play again though in the middle from Celtic and not spotting the danger over the top. Lubicic making the run here. Ample bodies back for Celtic. It has to go back to Horvath. A 1-2. Horvath with the armband. Lubicic down the left hand side to Bello. Early cross. It's a dangerous ball and a really good header, but the flag is up again. Well, another one that denies LASK another goal in this game. It's Adeniran with the header. Again, it's really good play again. Celtic don't spot the danger from midfield and they just don't get out to Bello quick enough. A little bit lackadaisical on that occasion. Bello allowed to whip the ball in. And Adeniran, really good strong header. But the flag is up. The offside confirmed by VAR, so that's twice in this game that LASK have found the Celtic net. On both occasions, offside has been called. Correctly so on both occasions, shall we say. That is again another warning sign to Celtic. They may have control of this game. They might have a lot of the possession of this game. They might lead on the score sheet, but it's not the be-all and end-all, and it doesn't kind of make you immune from conceding and giving away chances at your own end. Who does well to hold up here? With physicality and a good layoff to spring it wide to Mika Bauer. Oh, a miscommunication though between Nygren and Who. Just breaks that one down for Celtic, but just under 10 minutes to go with the half. LASK probably their strongest spell in the last few minutes. Lubicic will let one, or Andrade, sorry, will let one rip from the edge there. Comfortably into the hands of Sinisalo. Once again. Been very heavily involved, Sinisalo. They've got quite a few shots off LASK throughout the game. Right the way throughout the game, they've been able to get shots off quite consistently, but again, that lack of venomous danger with those efforts. Donovan. Nice ball round the corner to Callum McGregor. Kieran Tierney. Yang back to Tierney. Now back to Austin Trusty. Well, a reminder for you, the Premier League returns in just under around about 48 hours time, 2 days until Premier League football returns to our screens. Arsenal take on Coventry, the champions of the Premier League against the Championship champions, Friday 8 o'clock here on LFS. And we will have 3 live watch-alongs across the weekends, Friday night, and a double header for you on Sunday as well, where we will see, of course, Manchester City take on Bournemouth, and then at 4:30 Newcastle Liverpool at 4:30 on Sunday as well for you. Lots of action to look forward to across the opening weekend of the Premier League. And then we'll be back here in 6 days' time. We'll be heading to Austria as LASK and Celtic face off in the return leg of this playoff round game. Cheap giveaway there from the centre-back Mbamba. McGregor. Cross him from Tierney. Header by Who? Drops in the shot. Oh, what a finish! Camilo Duran with an absolute cracker. 2 from Celtic. 2 screamer goals. Both from the edge of the box. And Celtic lead by 2-0. He caught that one sweetly, Camilo Duran. Scored 5 times in the Champions League last season with Karabag. He's off the mark with Celtic in the Champions League this season. Celtic 2, LASK Linz 0. We said Celtic have been in control. They've been giving away half chances at the other end, but when they've had their cleanest moments, they've come up with the goods. Celtic, 2 beautiful goals and well-deserving offset lead. Again, Casper, who was the physical presence. Andrade just about dealing with it, getting it away, but similarly to earlier, they don't get it clear of the box, and there's a free man on the edge. And Camilo Duran hits it so sweetly with that left foot into the right corner. It's a beautiful goal. Two absolute wonderful finishes from Celtic, and they lead by 2-0 here in the East End of Glasgow. As the rain tumbles down, Celtic lead by 2-0. A bit of breathing room for Martin O'Neill's side. And they can't be complacent. They can't allow themselves to get carried away. We saw how when they went 1-0 up that LASK gave it a good shot to get right back into the game. Now with a 2-goal lead. It's the most dangerous scoreline in football for a reason. And if they get to half-time at 2-0, at least 2-0, they'll be very, very pleased, Celtic. And a first half that probably couldn't have went any better if that is the case. But here comes Yang. Late challenge there by Mbemba. He will get it for the corner. He absolutely cleaned out Yang, but a clean challenge. It's just an unfortunate collision on the end of it, but it's a risky one. But it is a corner and nothing more. Mbemba with the challenge. Celtic corner will come. Only their second corner of the game, only the second corner of the game. Mika Bauer will take, as he did with the first one on this left-hand side for Celtic. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Bauer with the right foot. Flicked on the near post. Well over the target there by Austin Trusty. He got the scoring underway in the League Cup against Dundee United. Austin Trusty at the weekends. Couldn't quite replicate that sort of efforts that he did against Dundee United on that occasion. The other games all still remain a 1-goal scoreline. Beersheva 0, Saba 1. It's NEC 0, Bodo Glimt 1, and Slovan Bratislava 1, Skjelde 0 in those three other ties. But a very jubilant Celtic Park, and I'm sure a very pleased Martin O'Neill at this moment in time. That's a lovely move down the left-hand side. A clip ball back into the box. Negron with a poor first touch. The flag was up anyway for offside. Half-time, we'll take a look at this game. We'll also give you a quick preview of kind of the teams that have already qualified for the league phase of the Champions League. We'll tell you the pots and what kind of a bit of a reminder of what's to come when the league phase does come around in a few weeks' time. We'll tell you all about the details of that. I think it's 3 weeks, 20 days from today until the Champions League phase gets underway. And of course, a week tomorrow until we find out who will play who. Across the 36 teams across the Champions League phase to bring us all the way to the new year. We'll be here next Thursday afternoon to fulfill all the details of that league phase draw. McGregor. Donovan to Camilo Duran. Into Callum McGregor. Benjamin Negron now. Settled play from Celtic. I don't think they've dropped below 70% of the possession right the way throughout this first half. It's been complete control of the ball. Well, there's some complaints there from Austin Trusty that he didn't get a foul high up the field, but it won't matter nonetheless. The ball towards Adeniran bounces out for a throw anyway to Celtic, as Austin Trusty continues his appeals to the referee. It was Adeniran who actually made the challenge, but yeah, I don't really know how that's not a foul. Of course, our referee Sandro Scherer from Switzerland, who took charge of Champions League semi-final between PSG and Bayern Munich last season. And the Europa League quarter-final as well between Bologna and Aston Villa. Refereed 2 of the 3 European winners in big European finals last season. At the tail end did this referee. Let's tell you about some goals that have come around the grounds in the other ties. We'll start with the most recent goal coming in the game between Beersheva and Saba. And we can tell you that Javon East has levelled it for Beersheva. So it is 1-1 in that tie. And also between Slovan Bratislava and Kielce, the Slovenian side, they have levelled things as well. It is 1-1 there. Kielce have found the equalising goal. That goal from Midit Avdili has given them a leveller. So it is 1-1 in those 2 ties at the moment. Here comes Benjamin Nygren. Going to feed it in behind for the run of Duran. Well cut out by Andrade. And we'll get a free kick there for LASK, fouled by Mika Bauer. Another goal as well in the other tie between NEC, the Dutch side, and Bodo Glimt, and it is now 2-0 to Bodo Glimt. So Bodo 2 to the good in that one, and the goal scorer Andreas Helmerson has doubled the Norwegian side's lead there in the Netherlands. 1 added minutes at the end of the first half here at Celtic Park. Celtic leading by 2-0. Beautiful finishes from Benjamin Nygren and Camilo Duran. Celtic in a very commanding position at the moment. 2 wonderful goals, by the way. Top drawer finishes from both. Similar situations though, from a cross, not dealt with. No one tracking the edge of the box for LASK Linz. Similar in that sort of fashion. And the clean strikes from Benjamin Nygren and Camilo Duran. 2 beauties, but they'll be so frustrated, LASK, that they've created chances. They've been dangerous in this game. Very lacking in the final third when they get into the Celtic box. They haven't been able to take advantage of those opportunities, but what a challenge that is by Colby Donovan. Wonderful challenge. And that's going to conclude the half. Well, a very happy Celtic cohort here at Celtic Park at the break. They have watched their team play some wonderful stuff and have watched 2 wonderful finishes from 2 very special players here for Celtic. Benjamin Nygren and Camilo Duran. One who's been here a while and the other who's only new in the door. Both with huge impacts, with beautiful goals. And at the break, Celtic lead commandingly here in Glasgow. It's half time. It's Celtic 2, LASK Linz 0. Ekitike! That is pure and utter class from Ugo Ekitike. And Burbo tucks it home. Red shines brightest on Old Trafford pitch. And Manchester United take the lead. And saved by Okonkwo. There's the magic moments. Arthur Okonkwo, the hero for Wrexham. Final whistle goes. And Manchester United have done it. The league double over Liverpool for the first time in 10 years. McGinn finding Buendia, trying to curl one. Oh, wow! Emi Buendia for the 5th time in a row. Celtic are going to win the title. Final whistle goes. Hull City up Premier League again. It's all over. Arsenal are the champions. Gabriel, little run up. Oh, he skied it over the bar. PSG are European champions once again. Welcome back to Champions League Live. Half time in our four ties in the playoff round this evening. Celtic leading by 2-0 against LASK. It's Beersheva 1, Saba 1, NEC 0, Bodo Glimt 2, and Slovan Bratislava 1, Kiel 1 in those respective ties. Of course, a very strong first half from Celtic and two very well taken goals. Of course, the 7 teams that win these ties will play in the Champions League phase. Of course, we already know quite a few of those teams because a lot of them would have qualified automatically for the league phase because of their country's coefficient, and a lot of them have to go through the playoffs to get Champions League football. But a quick look at some of the teams. Of course, the reigning champions, PSG, are in pot 1. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Man City, Arsenal, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are the 9 teams in pot 1 for the league phase draw. Welcome back to Roma, of course, there in pot 2. Aston Villa, Manchester United back in the Champions League, Real Betis as well back in the top European competition, Porto as well, and Portuguese representation with Sporting, also Borussia Dortmund and PSV Eindhoven and Club Brugge. Pot 3 has a number of teams. They have 7 of their 9 teams. Of course, pot 3 and pot 4 still to be decided because of the playoff round to decide the final teams. But confirmed teams: Feyenoord, Lille, Napoli, RB Leipzig, Villarreal, Shakhtar Donetsk are back. Galatasaray again for the second successive season. Slavia Prague, Stuttgart, Como, of course, making their debut in European competition. They come in, and Lens as well. We have still a number of teams to decide, 7 total teams to decide, of course, for pots 3 and pot 4. All of them will come out of this playoff round, and the other 7, the losing teams in these ties, will head to the Europa League league phase. So all 14 teams will be in European competition, but just which one is still to be decided. Of course, the league phase gets underway on the 8th of September. We'll have the draw next Thursday to see who will play who and which teams are collated together for the league phase, of course. And of course, we'll get a hint as to maybe who could be the champions of Europe for this season. Of course, it's never easy to predict, but we all are in the business of it. We all do it every year. And speaking of predictions, of course, on Friday we'll have our full list of Premier League predictions as well. Speaking of Premier League, the return of the Premier League is in just 48 hours' time as the champions Arsenal look to defend their title. They haven't defended a league title, Arsenal, since the 1930s. The defence of their title starts on Friday night against newly promoted Coventry, the Championship champions, Friday 8 o'clock on LFS. And of course, the return leg of this tie between LASK and Celtic is next Tuesday, 8 o'clock kickoff from the Champions League. But the second half, where Celtic lead by 2-0 at the break, goals from Camilo Duran and Benjamin Negron have Martin O'Neill's side in a strong position at the break. Second half on the way next. Welcome back to Champions League Live. Second half on the way in just a moment between Celtic and LASK, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course put on that notification bell, because it is so crucial if you don't want to miss any of our content across the season here in LFS, across the Premier League, Champions League, Championship, FA Cup, League Cup, and so much more as well. We will have it right the way throughout the season here in LFS, and it's great to have your company as well for this one tonight. It's seemingly going to, well, at the moment, halfway through this game. It's been so far a good night for the home cohort here in Glasgow, but second half to come, I'm sure LASK will not go down without a fight in this second half and try and battle back in this game. It will be Celtic to get us underway in the second half. They'll be kicking from right to left. Of course, LASK kicking from left to right. As we get back underway here at Parkhead. Bouncing ball right in behind. A threat from Yang that's forced an early throw for Celtic. To try and work it down the left. That's hooked away. Carter Vickers up to win the header, but couldn't take down the second ball. Adeniran battling, but his pass is cut out by Benjamin Negron. Lubicic launches forward, looking for Usor. Flag stays down. Adeniran with a heavy touch. He's cleanly challenged by Carter Vickers. Ball will drop out to the left for Bello. Bello up against Camilo Duran, who's out there defending. And Benjamin Negron was there to pick up the loose ball. And cleared away by Colby Donovan. As Casper Hu is going to get a free kick here. Challenged by Andrade, so that's going to be a free kick to Celtic. Well, Celtic have won 3 of their 6 home games against visitors from Austria. Although that last season's defeat of Sturm was their first in 4 matches against Austrian opposition. Last record against Scottish opposition, they've won 1 of their 5 games against Scottish teams, drawn 2 and lost 2. Their sole victory came in their most recent encounter with the Scottish team. That was a 2-0 win at St Johnstone in the second leg of the 21-22 Conference League qualifying playoff. So sealed a 3-1 aggregate success for them. That was a mouthful and a half, that was. That stat was a mouthful, I have to say. Yang, just a little bit loose, just a little behind Benjamin Negron with that inside ball. This is where the danger has been all night from LASK. Usor down the right hand side, edge of the area, trying to lift it deep to the back post. Donovan there, commanding that back post well, dealing with the danger. And Celtic winning the throw in out of Lubicic. Well, LASK's only other away win against Scottish opposition was a 5-1 second leg loss at Dundee United in 1984-85 in the UEFA Cup second round. It was a 7-2 aggregate defeat against Dundee United for LASK, so that was certainly not a good reminder of their trips to Scotland in history. Good ball by Hu to speed it wide to the left. Taken in well by Mika Bauer on the turn. Donovan down the touchline to Camilo Duran. Donovan on the overlap, takes that option. Donovan tries the cross, and that's blocked by Bello, and behind for the Celtic corner. Yeah, nicely combined there between Camilo Duran and Colby Donovan. Been a good link up all night down that right hand side for Celtic, and wins them another corner. First of the second half. Benjamin Negron over to take. Will be an in-swinger from Benjamin Negron. Oh, he's actually going to go short with it. McGregor finds it to Kieran Tierney, who will have a go here. Shot was blocked, failing by a hand there, it looked like, of Danek, but they will recycle it, and the ball from McGregor a little bit away from Benjamin Negron there. It looked like Danek used his hand to block that Kieran Tierney effort, but the referee didn't see it that way, and he was right beside it. The referee had a very good view of it. He was trying to set up a great moment. Was Kieran Tierney, an effort for his own. Really good challenge down the right hand side here for Celtic. Who on the turn? Finds Duran wide in the right. Duran going to cause nuisance down that right. Does really well. Wins Celtic the throw in out of Bello. He's been fantastic tonight, Camilo Duran. I think both Celtic wingers have been on top form this evening. And Camilo Duran having fun on the right touchline there against two players. Donovan to take the long throw. Launched into the area. Who got his head to it? Bounce around the edge. Will drop here for the shot from Mika Bauer into the hands of Youngworth. Oh, it's already seen Celtic score twice from around that similar area at the edge of the box. Mika Bauer with the right foot this time. Caught it clean. Just dropped into the hands of Youngworth in the last goal. Bello to Jurgensen, the two wing backs linking up there for LASK. Andrade. Bello down the left. Bello with the early cross attempt. That's stopped in its tracks by Carter Vickers, and then attempted to be seen away by Colby Donovan. He gets the second chance to link up with his captain, and Donovan does now clear up the field. Who trying to make a nuisance, and Who again wins a free kick out of Tornich. That's going to be a free kick to Celtic. Casper Who a little frustrated with the defender's attempts to deny him a chance there. Yeah, he did just a clean shove in the back of Casper Who. Already the second time in this second half that Casper Who's been fouled in a similar situation to get Celtic a free kick. And of course, it's something that Celtic, it's a new approach for Celtic going into this season with a striker. A lot of their attackers over the last few seasons have been tricky, low centre of gravity, quick with their feet, runners in behind. We haven't really seen a real dominant aerial Celtic centre forward in quite a while. This is nice football in between the lines. Yang. Bauer. Flicking it round the corner. This is a good run and attempt, and Will be a Celtic corner. Callum McGregor winning it out of Mbamba. Beautifully done by the Celtic skipper. Making that feinted run in behind Mbamba and gets the right side. Wins the corner out of the situation. Beautiful ball weighted behind by Mika Bauer again. Played some really good stuff, the midfielder. Actually, they've reversed the decision. Actually been given it a goal kick. Quickly won back by McGregor. Yang tried to evade his man, ended up running into his man and taking out Tornik. That's going to be a LASK free kick. Usor. Down the right hand side, he's got Jorgensen on the overlap, decides to go inside, flicks it round the corner, Jorgensen to the byline, cuts it across. Flag was up anyway, against the wing back Jorgensen. That attack comes to a pretty poor end really. It took far too long Usor to make the decision to play Jorgensen. It's really poor. He could have made the decision a few seconds earlier. Played him in a better position to whip it across, but too hesitant in the decision making. That helps out Celtic in winning a free kick. Third goal in the game between NEC and Bodo Glimt in the Netherlands this evening, and it is now a third goal for Bodo Glimt. They're taking firm grip of that game in the Netherlands this evening. 3-0 to Bodo Glimt. Here is Camilo Duran for Celtic taking on his man. Little 1v1 against Bello, and Bello does well to win the goal kick out of Camilo Duran. That's good defending. Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney having a quick conversation on the bench about things. We'll be keeping an eye on where this game goes. Options off the bench for Celtic. They've got the new signing Hasim Hassan, the Egyptian winger. Made his debut for Celtic against Dundee United in the League Cup, but struggled, and certainly Martin O'Neill said that his fitness was not anywhere near what it needs to be just yet. Still building his fitness levels. Hasim Hassan, a very busy summer with Egypt in the World Cup. Of course, Luke McCarron also a usual threat off the bench. James Forrest also can, as for many a season, come off the bench and made a difference. They've got quite a few options off the bench, Celtic, if they need them. Nyamba there has his manager in disbelief, and the face tells all of the LASK head coach, Dietmar Kubayer, the Austrian. He's been stunned by some of his side's play at times this evening. Lovely from Kasper, who picks it up well out of Ljubicic. Suddenly as a team tonight, Celtic have played well in their individual 1v1s and 50-50s against their opponents. They've been physical, they've been strong, they've been confident on the ball. Not been afraid to take a few risks. That's the type of aggressive nature that this crowd wants to see, this attacking approach, this front-footed approach they want to see from their team. That's lovely. Between McGregor and Yang. McGregor with the footwork. It's Benjamin Nygren. Closed off, but he works himself out of trouble. Nygren feeds it wide to Tierney. Tierney across. Bodies in the mix just over the head of who was alert in the area. Main target again for Celtic. Lovely challenge there. Little 1-2. They're pushing again, Celtic. McGregor. He will hit one. A deflection. Off the post it goes. Callum McGregor with the left foot. Took a deflection on the way through, and it comes off the right post, but Celtic pushing for more. The crowd want to build here. Whipped in by Tierney. Away at the front post by Mbemba. You see this again. McGregor's effort with the left foot actually comes off his own player in Kasper, who he might have inadvertently seen it into the net. Would have been an unlikely, but it would have been a Kasper Who goal if it had went in. In the end, it was Who's deflection that might have carried it onto the post. Best moment of the half for Celtic. Hitting the woodwork. Again, they've played some nice stuff. That's a lovely ball by Durant. Bauer across, it's... Oh, Yang at the back post just miscued his effort wide, but Celtic look fluid at the minute. Again, really good combination play down the right-hand side. It's Durant going wide, Mika Bauer just feeds it over the top. It's Kobe Donovan that made the run in behind. He flicked it across, and Yang breaking in round the back. Just dealt with there at the last second by the defender in Jorgensen, who put him off balance, but Celtic trying to push for that third. It really would give them a real cushion in this tie. Here's Camilo Durant down the right-hand side. Got Bello for company. Cuts onto his left. Durant lifts it into the area. That one's neither here nor there, really. That one's right the way through and out the other end for a goal kick. I have to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed the game so far. Two teams with the right approach, that attacking, front-footed approach. Usually in first legs we see teams just kind of settle and think, we've got another 90 minutes, don't give your all, don't do everything in the first leg, don't overcook yourself in the first leg. Leave yourself hampered to go into the second leg. Of course, both sides in action, or were meant to be in action over the week, but of course, Celtic were able to get their game against St Johnstone postponed. They were meant to play St Johnstone on Saturday. That has been postponed by the Scottish FA, and he will play in Austria next Tuesday with a free weekend to rest and recover. Their next league game isn't until next Saturday against Falkirk here at Celtic Park. There's Ljubicic. Horvath finds the shot over the bar. It was Usor with the effort. He's complaining. He's feeling that it should have been a corner. Horvath again. He's carried the ball well at times tonight. Plays a nice ball to Usor on the right. Caught it well with his left. Just a little bit of height behind it. Too much height behind it from Usor. Yeah, just a little too high with the effort. It's obviously a goal kick. It's never a corner, but that's a moment that could have changed. The sliding doors moment, that went in. That could have really changed things, but stays 2-0. Of course, it's not been that Celtic haven't had warning signs as such tonight that LASK have looked dangerous, and Martin O'Neill was very complimentary of LASK coming into the game, saying that they know it'll be a really difficult game. They're two really strong strikers, three strong centre-backs, and two dangerous wing-backs. Was very, very complimentary about the opposition this evening. And I think they can be very pleased so far with how they've played Celtic in those moments. There's a man who would love to be out there, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. That was league winner with Liverpool in 2019, of course. He is currently facing a suspension, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, so that's why he isn't involved at all this evening. Well, LASK also got their Bundesliga, Austrian Bundesliga game at the weekend also postponed. They were meant to play WAC away from home on Saturday as well, so both sides will have a free weekend to recover and ready themselves for the return leg in 6 days' time. That's also the difficulty about Champions League return legs, is that if you get the first leg on a Wednesday, you will play the second leg on a Tuesday, and it's that turnover that can be a real painful one. Here's Osur, does really well, right down the throat of Sinisalo. Did all the hard work Osur, and then the easy part was trying to find past Sinisalo. And he made that look very difficult. Beautiful ball over the top. Osur chested it down well, split the centre-backs in Carter Vickers and Trusty. Spun round one and then two. And then the effort was right down the throat of the Celtic stopper in Villami Sinisalo. Yeah. Really good play for Osur. Probably been their most dangerous player all evening for LASK. Usor created so many problems. He's the man, of course, that had the strike that was disallowed after 30 seconds for offside. You do say start as you mean to go on. Started incredibly unfortunate, but he's played very well tonight for the Austrian champions. Has been a similar diagnosis of LASK this evening. In fact, they've been just wasteful in the final third when they do get chances. They haven't been able to really punish Celtic. That's beautifully done by Nygren. Here's Yang out on the left. Yang takes on his man, skips back onto his right, has to go backwards, finds Tierney. He will whip it in early. Threat at the back was Hu, but that's drops. Now Durant, heavy touch though, just couldn't settle the ball. Really good cover. Donovan and Duran combining well to deal with it. Duran's going to whack from range. Simple grab in the end for Youngworth, but this game's getting to a point where you feel there's a goal coming for one of the two teams. At what end is anybody's guess. Kind of feel it's just building to that next big moment in this tie. Celtic had all the drama moments of the first half. Is there going to be a huge drama moment in the second half? You can swing this tie one way or another. It looks like there's some movement from the Celtic bench. So we'll tell you about that in a moment, when the changes aren't going to be made. Mika Bauer seems to have a bit of pain with that right foot, but maybe just he's played his heart out there this evening. And the German in his Celtic Park debut for Celtic. He's played some really good stuff this evening in that midfield. Played some beautiful football at times, some really good passes. Created some really key moments. He's off, and we're going to see the return of Reo Hatate for Celtic in midfield. So Reo Hatate on for Mika Bauer, the 28-year-old Japanese international. Reo Hatate. Starting now his fifth full season at Celtic. Of course, really struggled to get much of last season with the injury issues that he had and real problems that he had across last season. As here comes Celtic down the right side. Camilo Duran's put on one hell of a show this evening. Ball into the box. Who takes it down? Tried to let it up for someone else. Will drop here for the shots. Goodness me, that was travelling from Camilo Duran. Wide of the post it goes, but every time he gets on the ball, Camilo Duran lets rip, and he's so dangerous. This one, clean, straight strike, looking for the bottom right corner. It was just a yard or two away from billowing into that corner, but beautiful again from Camilo Duran. Such threat. Here's a Denerin. He's going to hit from range. That's right down the throat of the Celtic keeper again, Sinisalo, but a bit more, shall we say, pleased. The LASK head coach. "24 minutes to go until 90. Celtic 2, LASK 0. Here at Celtic Park. Quick update from around the grounds. Beersheva 1, Saba 1, NEC 0, Bodo Glimt 3, Slovan Bratislava 1, Kielce 1. Here comes Celtic down the right hand side with Camilo Duran. Donovan on the overlap, takes the inside run of Nygren. Back it goes. Duran! Oh! Another screamer! 3 absolute wonder goals from Celtic. And Camilo Duran with 2 of them. 2 of the very best. And Celtic extend their lead. I said a few minutes ago this game was building to something, that a goal would come at one end or the other. It comes once again for Celtic. Their third of the evening. Camilo Duran second. And his Champions League debut for Celtic is an absolute barnstormer. Absolutely beautiful again from Celtic. Had the space down the right hand side. Benjamin Negron plays it to Duran. He knows what Donovan's doing on the overlap. Waits for that. Plays the ball inside to Negron, who turns on a bottle top. Plays it back, and Camilo Duran, it's set up perfectly for him. He just catches it clean with the left boot. And a curling effort into the far corner. Beautiful, beautiful finish. 3 absolutely wonderful goals from Celtic tonight, I have to say. And Camilo Duran with his second of the evening, Celtic's third. And that is exactly what at half-time would have been the thoughts of Martin O'Neill and the thousands around Celtic Park. Can we find a third? Can we build upon that first half? And Celtic have done just that. Celtic 3, LASK Linz 0. A stunning performance so far from the champions of Scotland. Started this season in such great fashion, such free scoring fashion. It's now the third game in a row that Celtic have scored 3 or more goals. They've kept clean sheets in 2 of their last 3. Only conceded 1 goal so far this season in their 3 previous matches. This their biggest, toughest, probably most difficult test of the season so far in terms of level of opponent. But they have played some sweet stuff and have had some wonderful striking finishes. But you have to say, LASK have given away so many chances that they've had. But there he is, Rod's in the house, and the Celtic Park is bouncing at the moment. What a difference a year makes. 12 months ago, these fans were watching their side bow out at the playoff round to Carrot Almaty. The club was in turmoil. It was a toxic atmosphere in the east end of Glasgow, but 12 months down the line, Martin O'Neill's got this club feeling like they're on top of the world again. And they've got some quality talent that is producing on this wonderful stage. Celtic 3 to the good. Doing a very good performance of putting on a show here at Celtic Park. LASK trying to fight for the ball in the mix. Here's a drop of the ball. It will bobble its way back to Sinisalo, guided by the 2 centre-backs in Carter Vickers and Austin Trusty. Negron back to Colby Donovan. 20 minutes to go at Celtic Park. Celtic in a commanding lead in this tie. You have to say, in competitive matches now for Celtic, you have to go back to March for the last time Celtic failed to win a competitive game. Against Dundee United away, they lost 2-0 in that game. Oh, who on the turn there was closed down as he tried to spin it round the corner. Adeniran does well to break away initially from Colby Donovan. Backtracking was Camilo Duran. I mean, absolutely unbelievable performance. I mean, he doesn't just deserve player of the match. He deserves a medal for his performance in this game tonight, Camilo Duran. He's been absolutely incredible. If you want to look and see what an impeccable winger performance is on all areas of the pitch, just watch this performance from Camilo Duran, because he's been absolutely unstoppable. As Casper, who does really well again, wins the foul out of Mbemba. As I was saying, Celtic haven't lost a competitive game since March. This will be their 4th win of the season in 4 games to start the campaign competitively. That was on a 9-game winning streak at the end of last season, so that combined is 13 wins in a row it would be for Celtic since they lost to Dundee United back in March. They go to Austria next week, then have Falkirk at home, in back-to-back home games in the league. Falkirk, and then followed up with Aberdeen in the midweek after, and a trip to St Mirren before that League Cup game at Ibrox on the 12th of September. Lots of big games on the horizon. Celtic at the moment playing some beautiful stuff. Bello. Ball towards the box. That one's sliced over the top by Colby Donovan, but he dealt with the situation well. By the way, they made a change at LASK just before that Celtic goal. Alessandro Schopf is on. He replaced Christoph Danek in midfield. So Alessandro Schopf, the Austrian, is on for LASK. We're going to make another change here. Usor is going to be coming off. So Moses Usor is going to be replaced by Christoph Lang. Another substitution for the visitors. Corner here in the left-hand side for LASK. Referee not too happy with Ljubicic's physicality with Sinisalo. It's Horvath to take the corner. Right-footed delivery. Bouncing on the back post, and the header is wide from Mbemba. Yeah, good ball in. Flicked on. And the header is wide. It wasn't Mbemba. It was Mbemba. The flick on was actually the number 20 there, Jorgensen. Oh, a cheap giveaway there with a reverse ball from Nygren. Horvath to Jorgensen. Back to Horvath, swung it into the area, headed away by Donovan, who trying to get involved with Mbemba. Last defender there just got the better of the Danish forward. Benjamin Nygren going to be penalised for a foul there. Flickering from a Denerin. Dealt with well by Carter Vickers, who was under real pressure. Flag was up anyway. Well dealt with from Cameron Carter Vickers, who wouldn't have known about the offside. Celtic's next changes, as I was going to say change, but I spotted another player getting ready. Looks like Liam Scales and Sebastian Tunekti are getting themselves ready to enter the fray here for Celtic. Who does really well to hold it up, but couldn't take it in. Hattati, and a bit of room here for a Denerin from the angle. Sinisalo with the stop, and Donovan with the clearance. Really good shot from a Denerin there, and a narrow angle. Good stop though by Sinisalo. Have to say, Sinisalo's been busy, had a lot of involvement. Not many top saves needed to be made, but he's made every save that he's needed to. He's done a very strong job between the sticks for Celtic. We're going to see more changes here. Kieran Tierney's going to make way. So it looks like Liam Scales and Sebastian Tunekti are going to replace Kieran Tierney and Yang Hyunjun. So a double switch for Celtic. Denner in there and hold off Carter Vickers. Couldn't keep the ball in play. Celtic to win the throw. It's all about now just probably managing this to a finish now for Celtic. If there's an opportunity for more, go for it, but don't oversell it. Leave yourself exposed at the other end. That third goal just breaks the breaks that extra barrier, you kind of feel, not saying that they've got it and they're an easy street now, Celtic, I wouldn't go that far, you wouldn't want to say that, but you kind of look at it and go, 2-0 is very achievable for the comeback. 3-0 starts to look a little bit more difficult. And of course they'll not get anywhere near ahead of themselves. Still time to go in this game for to get even better if they could find another. That would be a dream. Here's Tenecti, tiptoeing towards the area, cuts back onto his right. Back to Hattati. Scales, it's the 3 substitutes for Celtic link up there. And they win a throw in down the left hand side. Scales. Negrin back to Liam Scales, who will lift it towards the edge of the area. Plucked out of the air by Hattati. Taken in by McGregor. Scales. This retreats back to Austin Trusty. Now back to the Irishman, Liam Scales. Settled possession from Celtic once again. Now Celtic are aiming to reach the Champions League group stage or league phase for the 14th time in the club's history. That's a lovely ball over the top. A run in behind here. Oh, keeper's far out of his goal. He's still out of his goal. If they can find something here, Celtic. What a challenge by the goalkeeper. The offside flag was up anyway, but it was entertaining while it lasted. Again, ball over the top from, I think it's Hattati. They're running the outside there. And Camilo Durant can continue to make himself a nuisance. The goalkeeper comes far out of his goal and then makes a sliding challenge at the byline, or at the touchline to make the challenge. Flag was up anyway though, against Camilo Durant. As I was saying, Celtic are aiming to reach the Champions League group stage or league phase for the 14th time in the club's history. A little tired legs here from Celtic, got to be careful. Shot from the edge, bit of a deflection off Trusty. That will be a corner. It's Christoph Lang. The question's possible handball, but referee saw no issue. Corner it is. Yeah, definitely not handball. I've said it before, if you want them to cut their arm off, that's the only option. They can't do much more there, Austin Trusty. Corner it is. We've had a good spell, LASK, last couple of minutes. Right-footed delivery from Horvath. Dennerin was the closest to get on the end of it. Lang tried to help out from the edge. Lang picks it up again. Jorgensen fired across, and the sliding challenge in the mix there from Callum McGregor. The skipper for Celtic doing the donkey work and clearing it behind for another corner. Yeah, really strong again. Everybody committed to the cause for Celtic. Dealing with the danger. Another corner. Horvath again over this one. Right hand side now. Spun in with the right foot. Flicked away by Carter Vickers. Drops here. The shot from close range. Another call of handball. Jorgensen that was questioning the referee, who waved it away. Whip ball in by Jorgensen. Scales beaten out for it. Horvath swipes at it. Sliced it wide of the goal. Well, Celtic are in the qualifying playoffs for the 2nd season in a row. They lost 3-2 on penalties to Carol Almaty 12 months ago after 2 goalless draws. This has been very different, certainly in an attacking sense from Celtic's point of view. The chances they've created, they've been quite excellent. Last time they lost a home leg. It's only once they've lost their home leg. The last 7 Champions League qualifying ties. They've won 5 and drawn 1 of the other 6. So a strong record. In terms of qualifying, Champions League qualifying, they've won 4 times and lost 4 times. They haven't successfully negotiated Champions League qualifying since 17-18, when they've subsequently suffered 5 qualifying eliminations, Celtic, since then. Schupf with the ball. Jorgensen fired across. Good challenge in there by Trusty, who got a foot in. Tenecti finds who returns the favour to Sebastian Tenecti. Tenecti, who's hacked down there cynically. And the referee didn't even take time to blow his whistle before the card was out of his pocket. Yeah, really lazy challenge from Jorgensen. No attempt to play the ball there, and that's a yellow card. And Duran's run his race. Absolutely wonderful performance from Camilo Duran. 2 sensational goals that have Celtic in a commanding position in this Champions League qualifying tie. Beautiful debut in the Champions League for him, for Celtic. And we're going to see another new boy for the summer, Hassim Hassan, as well as Anthony Ralston, both on to the field. Colby Donovan and Camilo Duran both off for Celtic. I have to say, give credit to Colby Donovan as well. 19 years old and played excellently in this Champions League game tonight. Wonderful performance from him as well. Here's Hu. Gets the ball off Hassan. His first involvement for Hassim Hassan. And a throw-in one there on the right-hand side by Celtic. Lovely football this. Here's Hassim Hassan. Little 1-2s. Negron. Oh, lovely ball to find Hattati. Defines it to Liam Scales. He hit clean but hit well wide. Yeah, they've built it well again there, Celtic. Just the finish lacking from that moment. Really good build-up play. Danger around the edge of the box again. Really good ball by Negron. Smart play. Hattati laid it up and Scales couldn't direct it home. Directed it wide. Carter Vickers stepping in, winning the ball and charging forward here. Lovely little layout to the right hand side. Here's Hassan. Tries to go past his man. Wins the corner though. Out of Adeniran. Corner taken shorts. Callum McGregor's going to hit it. Right down the throat of the keeper in Youngworth. The second effort he's had from a similar sort of position this evening. Callum McGregor, he's got it in him. Another good effort. The pace of it, but right down the throat of the keeper. Bouncing ball out here to Jorgensen. Ljubicic to Schupf. Andrade. Down the right, left hand side come LASK, Bello. Schupf now across to Lang. And Bemba. Wide to Jorgensen. Decent play this. And Bemba undercooked it completely. Nicely cut out, simply cut out by Tenecti, who tried to create the move down the left. Did take a deflection of Mbemba. That will be a Celtic throw down this left side. Now listen to this for a stat. LASK are winless in their last 10 fixtures in UEFA competitions. Drawn 4 and lost 6. That's a torrid European record. Celtic adding to that with their performance and what would be a commanding result this evening. Here's Hassim Hassan. Takes it on his stride. Tries to whip it across. Blocked by Bello and will be another corner to Celtic. Only on the field a few minutes, but Hassim Hassan picking up where Camilo Duran left off with his threat down that right hand side. Benjamin Negron with the fake effort there to take the corner. It is taken short. Hassan tiptoeing onto his left. Onto his left again. Lifts it deep around the back. Dealt with there by Jorgensen too. We're queuing up for Celtic. Trusty and Scales around the back. It will be a corner. Yeah, smart play by Hasim Hassan, just bide his time. Another ball in, short corner from Celtic. It's taken in by Negron in the second phase. Danarin tries to clear, but McGregor wins it back. Scales wide, out to Tenekti. Tenekti onto his right. Tenekti trying to direct one. That took a deflection. It's another Celtic corner. Jorgensen with the stop this time. There's been another goal in the games between Beersheva and Saba. Beersheva have now taken the lead in that one, so it is 2-1 to Beersheva. In their game it's 3-1. NEC have got a goal back against Bodo Glimt. Still remains 1-1 in the other tie. Ball into the box, headed away at the near post. This is a run of successive corners for Celtic in a short period of time. And is Tenekti over it again. Tenekti right-footed on the left-hand side. Swung in. This one comfortably into the hands of Youngworth. Good whip on it. Just far too close to the goalkeeper to cause any danger. And now Lang's got the pace on him to try and break in behind here for LASK. Yelang forced into a very narrow angle. Really strong defending. Anthony Ralston was the last man defending there for Celtic. As they work it into the box again. Lubicic and Andrade couldn't find it across. Blocked well by Carter Vickers. Yeah, they want to try and find a goal from somewhere, LASK. They get a goal that could reignite them somewhat for the second leg. Tornik with the shot blocked. And Jorgensen tried to pick up the loose one. That's cleared away comfortably by Tenekti. Lubicic. Back to Tornic. Cross now to Mbemba and Andrade. Last minute of the 90 minutes. Celtic 3, LASK 0. This first leg of the playoff round. Down the left-hand side, Bello now. And the early cross blocked, and that will bounce into Hasim Hassan's path, and Celtic might have a good counter-attacking opportunity here. Hassan trying to measure one, looking for the run of Casper Hu. Couldn't quite squeeze it through for Hu. There's lots of those little rhymes, but the best one I've heard so far is the game against Caoimhan. I was watching the game and Casper Hu scored a hat-trick in that one, but when he'd scored his second, Chris Sutton quick onto the mic, 2 for Hu. And it would have been a beautiful headline if it stuck at 2, but I'm sure he was glad he got the hat-trick. But I'm sure there'll be many of those plays on Casper Hu's name. Andrade with the ball in. Danarin was the target, and the ball bounces down and easily grabbed by Sinisalo. 3 added minutes then, 1 for each of the Celtic goals, you'd have to say. I have to say it's been a really balanced display from Celtic across the 90 minutes. Strong in attack, combative in defence, progressive but also physical in midfield. Bright and sharpness from the wingers. And a commanding role from Casper Hu up front. I mean, it's been such a well-rounded performance. Yes, they've given up chances. Yes, LASK are going to create opportunities. You'd be a fool to think that they weren't going to create opportunities, but the fact that Celtic have done so well at ultimately really holding them off, and a pretty poor night in terms of their attack and play, really, from LASK. I think they've been very, very wasteful. But take nothing away from Celtic. 3 wonderful goals. I think they've played some really nice stuff. I think Martin O'Neill will be pleased with the result overall. I think he will kind of look at it and go, maybe we got a little bit lucky the fact they didn't take any of their chances. Another effort there, skied over the bar. I think if they give up these chances in Austria next week, they could be in a bit of danger, Celtic, but they've got a 3-goal cushion. So they don't need to be impeccable. They just need to get the job done. They've got a commanding lead. Now next week, you've got a few days rest. You've got the weekend off. Get yourself physically ready for Tuesday. and get the job done and get Champions League football back at Celtic Park for the season. And that will not only help Celtic off the field, but on the field as well, because it will attract some other players that it has been hinted at, that they've been looking at. If they can get Champions League football, they could attract that upper echelon pedigree of player that they could bring in before the window closes. So only good things can come from qualifying for the Champions League phase for Celtic. Casper Hu chasing this one down with real venom, but well dealt with by Andrade, who was under real pressure there from the Dane. As Carter Vickers does well. Oh, Scales gets a little bit loose, but he deals with it, gets it back and finds Tenekte. Maybe one last attack for Celtic before the time runs out. They're not being too much of a hurry to do that. That would be the sensible option, just to see it to the final whistle now. Hassan into the box. They might have one more opportunity here. Clipped across the area. It was Negron who was in the mix. Who's there? And who is going to get the foul against him? Too physical from Casper Hu. Another good chance though for Celtic. But there's no time to take it. The final whistle goes. A wonderful performance from Celtic. Certainly one of real impetus from Martin O'Neill's side. They knew it would be a tough task. They knew they needed to take a lead to Austria, and a commanding one at that. And that is exactly what they've done. Beautiful goals from Benjamin Negron with the opener, and two Camilo Duran sweet finishes as Celtic 3 to the good, heading to Austria in 6 days' time with one hand, one step, 1 foot in the door of league phase football for the Champions League. They're not there yet, but the job is halfway done. Beautiful night under the lights at Celtic Park. Played some beautiful football, some wonderful goals. A happy night all round for those of a Celtic persuasion. It will be a tough task in Austria next week, but they've given themselves one hell of a cushion to take with them. Final score from Celtic Park has finished Celtic 3, LASK 0. And a wonderful performance from Celtic on the night to get the job done on the night and give themselves one hell of a lead to take to Austria next week and to get themselves Champions League football again back at Celtic Park. So Celtic 3-0 winners against LASK. Beersheva did turn the game around to win 2-1 against Saba, the Azerbaijani side, so it is 2-1 to Beersheva, heading to Azerbaijan next week. Bodo Glimt take a 3-1 lead back to Norway with them against Dutch side NEC, and it is still underway, actually still going in that game between Bodo Glimt and NEC, and still underway between Slovan Bratislava and Kielder. At the moment it is 1-1 between those two. Heading into the final few seconds. The other 3 ties that took place last night, they will be played in a week's time, Wednesday night, 7 days time, next Wednesday. Fenerbahce 1, Lyon 1, Dinamo Zagreb 2, Viking FK 2, and Levski Sofia 0, AEK Athens 0 as well. Those are the other results from last night. A reminder for you that Premier League football is back in just 2 days' time, Friday night, under the lights of the Emirates, as the Premier League champions Arsenal begin the defence of their title, taking on Championship champions Coventry, newly promoted Coventry, at the Emirates on Friday night. And then we'll be back next Tuesday evening to see LASK and see if they can pull off a comeback against Celtic, or will Celtic get the job done fully in Austria. We'll find out next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Right, those other 2 ties that are still underway are ongoing, and just to confirm, that's just finished between Slovan Bratislava and Kiel. That is finished 1-1, and it is just finished between NEC and Bodo Glimt as well. Perfectly timed. It is finished 3-1 there. So, the Hoops on form tonight. 2 from Duran, 1 from Negron, 3 quality finishes. Celtic have given themselves one hell of a lead to take the Austria in 6 days' time. Thanks for your company. Good night.